Captain's log, stardate 2121.143. The bridge of the Enterprise is standing room only this time because I have got Brad Kozo, Dayton Johnson, Scott Hoffman, and Dave Burns with me. And we are about to time warp back to 1986 for a good talk about Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
Admiral Kirk is being court-martialed.
There shall be no peace as long as Kirk lives.
Spock has lost his memory.
It's me, McCoy. You really have gone where no man's gone before.
They're going back in time to explore the strangest world of all.
Many of their customs will doubtless take us by surprise.
You guys like Italian?
No. Yes. No. Yes.
Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, rated PG.
All right, guys. Welcome to a nice big episode. We're all here. Dayton, Dave, Brad, Scott. Scott, I kind of feel like you should maybe be referred to as Scotty on this episode. I don't know
you
what
insist.
Okay. I don't know what'll get old.
Mr. Scott.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Hey, Mr. Scott. Let's do Mr. Scott. Sounds a little bit more Reservoir Dogs than Scotty.
Mr. Scott.
Hey, we're not doing Mr. Scott because he was asked for Scotty. He always said Scotty.
That'll stick.
Yeah. I don't know it'll get wore. I don't know it'll get wore out faster. Me calling you Scotty or you doing a Scottish accent. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. First impression. So listen, I'll be the first to say it. I became a Star Trek fan later in life. So in 1986, I was still a couple years running high off of Return of the Jedi. Some of you guys saw this in the theater though, right? Dayton, did you see it in the theater?
Yeah, actually I did. A friend of mine, we both went, Timber and I went, and it was one of those, I'd been a fan of the show when it was on, reruns and whatever. So I was kind of up to date on it. So it was kind of cool to see. I think it's actually one of the few of the Star Trek movies I've actually seen in the theater.
Okay. Dave, I know you're a big Star Trek fan.
Yes.
You had to see this in the theater.
I absolutely did. I remember going and seeing it with my brother-in-law in the theater. Great experience. I was 13 years old when I saw that in the theater.
Oh, wow.
So I was a little young. Different take on Star Trek than I thought, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay. Brad, how about you? Do you any memories to go and see it in the theater?
Yeah, the whole family went.
This was a family night, huh?
This was a family night. I can even tell you exactly what theater it was. It was the old theater in Milford. It was, I think, it was a full fun family day of Star Trek 4.
That's exactly where I saw it too, Brad.
Really? Milford?
Yes. Yep.
Was it 275 East?
Yes.
Yeah. The 275.
Love that place.
That was a good one.
Rest in peace.
Oh man.
Right.
So you guys were Trek fans long before I was then. Was this the start? Because I know we were all pretty young when this came out. Was this the first one that you guys saw in theater? Or more importantly, did you continue to see them in the theaters?
I know I saw a Search for Spock in theater for sure. So that was my first one. So Voyage Home would have been my second one in theater.
Okay. How about you, Dayton? Did you see any of the others in theater?
No. Like I said, this was the only one I remember seeing in the theater. No, I all the other ones either on cable or rented them when they came out.
Okay. All right. Brad, did the family jump back in the family truckster and drive over to Milford to see Final Frontier or Undiscovered Country or any of the others?
Well, it all started with two with me. Two like on video or cable reruns. And I believe we did see 3 in the theater, and I saw pretty much all of them in the theater. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep during 5 up through Undiscovered Country.
You slept through 2 movies, huh?
That was pretty much it for my Star Trek life until the J.J. Abrams reboot.
Okay. Look, before we get too far into it, let's do a PSA. Dayton, what do you got for us?
Well, this one I went a little bit different. I actually did pick an item from the actual production of the movie, since the movie is all about whales and saving the whales for future. I thought it was very interesting that the biggest hurdle they felt they were going to have was the footage of the whales. So they realized they couldn't get a hold of 35 millimeter footage of actual whales, and it would be too difficult to shoot it. So they actually hired a robotics expert to help design the whales. They built 4 animatronic models. I know at least 2 of them were only 4 feet long. And they did such a good job sculpting them and building them and everything else that when the movie was released, the U.S. fishing authorities and whale rights activists publicly criticized the movie and the filmmakers because they actually thought the whales were actually in captivity and they got too close to their habitats to shoot the film. So I thought that was pretty impressive considering the time the movie was made and that people bought into that those were real whales. I thought that was a great, thing to hear about that later in life. It's like, wow, they actually in 1986 they built realistic looking whales.
That's amazing that people would see that and think George and Gracie are living mammals like that in captivity. Like
I thought so.
The film was nominated for 4 Academy Awards.
It was.
Sure was.
Who was the effects team that did that? Do you guys?
It was ILM.
It was okay. Now, say no more. That makes sense then.
Yep.
That whole sequence with the morphing of the faces, that's the first time that ever been done, and then they used it for Michael Jackson's Black or White.
Yep.
What do you guys? Okay, so I know they used that. That was like their take on time travel. I didn't like it.
I would agree with you on that. That was one disappointment I had in the film.
Yeah, that was like the only thing I didn't
like. That's the one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a little bit more, but that was a big one for me. First off, time travel. I
love time travel.
The cliche, Star Trek has done it before. Obviously, it did it in the original series, and obviously the Next Generation did it as well. Which I believe Next Generation went into production during the voyage home. But anyway, besides the point, I'm not a big fan of time travel. Star Trek is sci-fi, but yeah.
But it's funny you should say that because the first Star Trek movie that they were going to do was going to be directed by Philip Kaufman, written by Roddenberry, and one of the main plot points was time travel of like the early man and a group of aliens manipulating time travel to stop the human race from forming and stuff. So it was there very early on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how bad that script would have been. That would have been way better than
exactly
the boring high school documentary that we got for Star Trek.
It was going to be called Star Trek Planet of the Titans, and it was pretty much a full go, except they just never actually filmed it.
I know it's cutting edge technology, this face morphing thing they did, but it was just stupid. Like movie going audiences at this point in 1986, we watched Michael J. Fox jump in a DeLorean, and that was cool. You saw Arnold show up in that blue glowing bubble thing, from the future. I mean, time travel was looking cool at this point. This was just lame.
I think the biggest problem was Paramount had to cut their budget because of the Next Generation being filmed. That's what hurt them.
Well, I did see that part of the reason they got the cheaper actors for Next Generation was because of this movie, because Nimoy and Shatner wanted $2.5 million each.
Yeah.
So because of those guys, they actually had to get cheaper actors for the Next Generation.
So Paramount decides, like, these guys are getting too expensive. Let's just create a new show and new unknown actors.
Pretty much.
It worked.
It worked out.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely did.
It did work out because, I'm a fan of the original stuff. I never watched the Next Generation. And Brad and I were talking about this a week ago. And I was like, I've been coasting along. I'm gonna probably keep going. And he was like, well, you're not gonna watch like the Star Trek Generations and those movies, are you? I said, I think I might, but I think I'm gonna do the Star Trek Next Generation series. She's like, really? And
I like the Next Generation.
Well, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but then
I told him, I was like, that's a huge commitment.
I pull it up. I'm like, nah, what was it? A couple seasons, and then I see there's like, what is it? Like 7, 9 seasons. I was like, I can't commit to this. There's no way. The original series was like 3 seasons or 2 seasons.
3.
And, Next Generation's, how many is it, Dave?
I think 7.
That's too much. I can't commit to that.
Yeah, and you got to watch that before you see the movies. Otherwise, the movies make no sense at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you've got to get through season 1. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. All right, I'm out.
So this is the only one where it's directed by twice by Leonard. Leonard Nimoy goes from part 3 right to part 4.
Correct.
Yeah.
So did he get 2.5 for acting and directing.
From what I read, it was 2.5 for the acting portion
Okay.
in the movie because it was the same that Shatner got.
Okay.
But,
So I feel bad because like even watching this recently, you see starring William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, co-starring, and then like the rest of the original cast is there. I'm guessing, Nichelle Nichols and George Takei and James Doonan and DeForest Kelley, they're not getting 2.5 million.
No.
No way.
No.
Couldn't, I mean, not to pick favorites, but shouldn't DeForest Kelley be getting a decent chunk of change?
I would agree. Yes, he should have.
Because for me, he kind of makes at least the first 3 movies. He's like the the fourth one too. He has some good comedic moments in the fourth one, but
absolutely, I think he has some of the better lines in this movie. Actually,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I still think the best humor is actually anytime Spock tries to curse.
Spock,
Yes.
about those colorful metaphors that we've discussed, I don't think you should try using them anymore.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, you haven't quite got the knack of it. But you could exaggerate.
Exaggerate.
Exaggerate. You've done it before. Can't you remember?
The hell I can't.
Oh my God! Every time I just busted laughing. Every time he would try to curse, it was great.
His last one, he towards the end when he said "damn it," and Kirk kind of gave him that second look, like, "Did you just do that?"
I know, right?
Yes.
Well, he's not the only one. I mean, even Kirk trying to use 1986 slang.
What you want where you're going, you dumbass? Well, a double dumbass on you.
Well, what I have to say is the thing that would dismiss as like the first film and the fifth film is that 2, 3, and 4 really go together as one, as happened right after another.
Yeah, it's a story arc.
Story. Yep.
I feel like those 3 are like one long movie because they all piece together like so well. I mean, but yeah, it's like it's one special just trilogy in the middle there.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I think one thing that was kind of brave of him, of Leonard Nimoy, I guess, because I know he was kind of like the guy behind this decision. But Wrath of Khan, I don't know if you can't top Khan as a villain. And then you get the Klingons in Search for Spock. And then the fourth one, no villain. This is just this is just an alien probe heading towards Earth that's, causing damage.
And it's very annoying.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's annoying. But
so annoying.
How did you guys Scott? What did you think about the no villain idea?
Well, I thought it was a good idea to basically give them a problem to solve, not a person to fight. So then we didn't have to see like the Kirk, judo chop at the neck and all that stuff that seemed really forced in the third. And you're not going to top Khan. But the problem that they had to solve was just so odd. Like the big cement floating sausage in space with the hovering basketball that for some reason was trying to talk to whales by evaporating all the oceans.
Apparently there was originally supposed to be subtitles at one point.
Right.
I'm glad there isn't, because that would have ruined the mystique of it.
Yeah.
And I kind of dig the fact that it's whale song. Because wasn't it Spock that kind of mentions that whales were around like 400,000 years before man?
800,000.
800,000. Yeah. So I like that. I think it's him. It's Spock that says something like, Admiral. For us to assume that they're trying to reach out to mankind is, presumptuous. Or,
human arrogance is what he said.
Human arrogance. Yeah.
To go back to what Brad was saying, Paramount was the one who was wanting those subtitles. And Leonard Nimoy just went to them towards the end and said, look, it's going to work better if the subtitles are not there. So we have Leonard Nimoy to thank.
All right.
That stuff is not in the film.
So
I saw a note that said that while it's flying away at the end of the film, it says, "I'm sorry," which is like, really? Just like a big cosmic "my bad" at the end of this? Like you tried to evaporate the planet to talk to whales.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, sorry.
Well, I mean, as silly as it might sound, the other ideas they had, at one point they were trying to come up with a cure for a disease that was destroyed when they burned up the rainforest. So they were having to, and so
that was a bummer.
I know, and that was the whole idea. They wanted this one to be a lot more lighthearted and fun. And it's like, if you have a whole, dead planet, of corpses and trying to go back in time, that's really kind of kills the idea of it being lighthearted and fun. So
Dayton,
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say Dayton makes a good point about it being this one. This one is very lighthearted. It's very it's a fun Star Trek movie. Here's something I found out that blows my mind. So talking about characters, apparently before this movie's up and running, Eddie Murphy reaches out and says, "I love Star Trek. I want to be in Star Trek." And Leonard Nimoy is like, "Well, that people might not take us seriously if Eddie Murphy is in the movie." But they created this character, this like professor who believes in aliens and listens to whale songs, kind of like the Dude. And they show this to Eddie Murphy, and he's like, "No, I don't like that. I don't want that." So he walks off, and then that character becomes Dr. Jillian Taylor, the female lead. I thought, could you guys imagine Eddie Murphy in a Star Trek movie this time of year? I mean, this decade when he's like
too big of an actor at the time.
Yeah, he would have taken the whole thing over.
He would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I definitely think it would have been a completely different movie and probably not nearly as entertaining. But then again, people were not all that keen when they cast Michael Keaton to play Batman. Nobody wanted to believe that either, but he made it work. So sometimes we could be surprised, Jim Carrey in The Truman Show and, Will Ferrell not being obnoxious in some of his other movies. It's just, sometimes you need a chance. Now, I'm not saying that they should have chosen him, and the fact that he went on to do The Golden Child instead worked out for everybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It would have been definitely a different movie altogether.
The cast and crew of Star Trek wish to dedicate this film to the men and women of the spaceship Challenger, whose courageous spirit shall live to the 23rd century and beyond. That's a cool move.
It was.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So why didn't Space Camp put that on first?
Good question.
You know what? That's a question we need to go back and listen to the episode and talk. Maybe call Andrew Blakely up and ask him what's going on. He's our NASA guy.
What I love about the beginning, though, is that these number 2, number 3, and number 4 do the thing of let's do a recap of what happened last time. They're doing the whole thing in front of the United Federation of Planets, and the Klingon guy is talking about how dangerous Kirk is, and by showing his evidence, apparently he just had a copy of Star Trek 3 because he plays not like interior cameras from the Enterprise. No, can someone give me a copy of Star Trek 3 and we put it in, because that's exactly what they show at the Federation of Planets.
That's so if Spaceballs was part of this, then they would actually show him walking out with the VHS tape and like put it in.
That's what I was expecting. Like, it's all right. I've got the evidence right here in this copy of Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
I'm sitting there watching that. And the guy, the Klingon commander is listening to the countdown, and the next scene you see is Christopher Lloyd going, "Get out! Get out!"
Yeah.
I was like, now if they show Christopher Lloyd, okay, they cut him. Okay, so they tried to keep it a little realistic, I guess.
But now I want to see the version where you do Christopher Lloyd's voice, because that was fantastic. Get out! I thought it was weird in that scene how so I have to watch all of my movies with subtitles because kids are loud and whatever. As the Klingon guy is walking out of that hall, somebody yells, "You pompous ass."
Really?
Probably.
Yeah, like he's walking out, somebody goes, "You pompous ass," and it's kind of like, wow, all right, you got a heckler in the Senate room or whatever the hell that is.
Nice.
And then in terms of recaps, like they go to the ship and they close out the Savick trilogy with giving her like a little bit of dialogue, which seemed really weird to me, because she stops Kirk and she's like, "Hey, I never had a chance to talk to you about the death of your son. He saved us all. That's it. Okay, bye." And it was just like, what a weird downer. He already knew that he saved their lives. I know you're probably doing that to like recap for the audience that's watching, but and then he kind of goes on with his life like, "Yeah, that was sad, man."
That's a moment where dialogue could have saved that, because I agree. How long have they been floating around? But since the third movie. And she's just now like, she's like Lloyd Christmas in a big gulp. All right.
See you later.
Hey, your son, he saved us.
Well,
you know,
And now he's dead. That's sad.
well, originally cut out of part 3 was supposed to be a romantic relationship between David and Saavik. But they did cut it out.
And there was also supposed to be there's supposed to be where Saavik was staying on Vulcan to have Spock's baby.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that part
because she was
cut out too.
curing his Ponfar or whatever, and apparently
Right.
got it on with the guy who was like morphing and changing from like 9 to 25, which is kind of insulting to Saavik to say, I don't know, to kind of use her in that way almost and say like, well, she's a woman, so she's going to have sex with him. And it's kind of like,
So wait, but this the romantic thing between them supposedly was going to happen on Vulcan.
Apparently.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen, I guess, during they were setting up an idea that she was staying there to have his kid because it happened, I guess, while he was growing up on the Genesis planet or something like that. But yeah, it was in the whole idea they obviously cut. It's almost after watching the movie multiple times recently, it's like Saavik doesn't even seem to really need to be there at all, except maybe to watch them leave, because that line is kind of silly because they've been on Vulcan for how long now?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
they say 3 months, right?
Yes.
Yes.
3 months
I wanted to
exile.
ask this. Okay. The crew of the Enterprise has been in the same clothes for so long. They are all looking filthy and nasty. Why won't the people of Vulcan give them some new threads? They have to stay in the exact same clothes that they wear in 3 and 4 the whole way through until the
I'm
very
sure they
end.
had them dry cleaned. Come on now.
I mean,
They-
yeah, there's probably like a Vulcan dry cleaner or
Yeah.
kind of
This had to have been.
Laundry mat.
laundry, Vulcan laundry mat. I mean, look, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna walk around in your uniform, or are you gonna wear that bathrobe that Spock's in the whole movie?
I'm gonna be wearing that bathrobe. That thing looks
Yeah.
really comfortable.
That
and
was
it's
that
Scotland.
looked damn comfy.
warm and yeah, I love that thing.
Put some sunglasses on, do a
Let's-
Lebowski.
Yeah.
Let's talk about let's talk about clothing for a second. Okay, so the original series, they looked cool. You know, they all had like their different color long sleeve shirts and the black pants with the boots. I kind of feel like as these movies progress, their uniforms get really lame looking. Like Kirk is running around in like a mauve purple combo. You know, it looks like something like, you know, grandma might lounge around in. I don't know. I'm not a Star Trek guy.
Yeah,
But
it looks like a pantsuit that somebody would walk
It did.
around in the mall.
yeah, I'm not trying to offend the Trekkers, but like I don't know, Dave, Dayton, you guys are probably the Trekkers of our group. Are the uniforms cool, or are you with us? Like that
Wait,
they're
are
stupid?
we talking about the uniforms or their civilian clothes?
I listen. The civilian, the civvies, I'm cool with because who knows? What
Oh,
the
I
23rd
thought you were
century
talking
is.
about the civilian clothes.
No, I mean
Yeah.
Bones looks like a futuristic Indiana Jones. I'm cool with that. I'm talking about the uniforms, like in these color schemes that are just.
I don't have a problem with the uniforms. I mean,
It was the 80s.
I like them. I like them better than what they had in the TV show. I mean, the TV
Yeah.
show was there were T-shirts with a symbol on them. So I mean, they got to go somewhere.
So
And their
basically,
uniforms at the end of the film were a lot more military-esque, if you noticed, after they got
Yeah.
out of those ragged clothes. So at the end of Voyage Home, it became the, more military Star Trek that we were used to.
Right.
so
Well, they're being
basically,
court-martialed. Of course, they had to dress nicer.
Exactly.
so basically, you guys want me to shut my Vulcan mouth about the uniform?
Well,
get out of here,
moving
guys.
moving on.
Well, Kirk's shirt made it seem like he was wearing the puffy shirt from Seinfeld
Yes.
with the real poofy forearms. But I remember hearing something about how in the production they had said that they thought that the clothing that they were wearing would blend right in San Francisco because it was looking a little unconventional. It was looking like it was kind of futuristic or something like that. But they would blend right in because they didn't have to say like, let's get into appropriate, attire for the time period or go shopping for clothes. They just kind of went out in civvies.
Brad, what do you think about their time in San Francisco? Like as they're moving around town, like what do you think?
Well, I love, as I was watching it last night, when they start to actually go towards the city from Golden Gate Park, it was like cue in the big city music, that, the quick flashes of the city, how fast the streets are going. And every time somebody almost gets run over by a cab, just like it's like dead on.
Dayton, what about you? What's highlights from their San Francisco trip?
Oh, there's so many actually. Well, of course, we already covered the double dumbass on you to the cab driver. I love when they go into the pawn shop. He sells the glasses. Of course, we have to talk about the scene on the bus with the punker. So we have to talk about because not only is it absolutely hilarious, but it's actually based on something actually happened to Leonard Nimoy when he was actually in, I think it was New York.
Yeah.
And somebody came out with a boom box and whatever, and he said, if I was actually Spock, I would have, done that to him. So they put it in the movie. And the cool thing about it is the guy that's playing the part of the punker on the bus is actually an associate producer from the movie. His name's Kirk Thatcher. And when he found out about the part, he asked Nimoy if he could play the part. And him and the sound designer, Mark Mangini, actually wrote the song that you hear, I Hate You, is actually written and performed by those guys.
Yep, I love that.
I know, they're great. It's wonderful.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that boombox makes an appearance in Spider-Man Far From Home.
The same model?
Yes. Yep.
That's
same
wonderful.
one. Exact same one.
It's in Homecoming. He's standing next to the
that's
hot
what it
dog
is.
vendor.
Yeah, Homecoming. Yep.
Okay.
As the same punk.
Yep.
Dayton,
That's great.
Hey, Dayton, 1986. You and your buddy Tim are on the bus. You got your boombox, and you're cranking out. You're listening to some Iron Maiden. If two weird guys tell you to turn it down, are you gonna oblige, or are you gonna take the Vulcan neck pinch?
I would have actually had my Walkman on, so because I'm not a dick.
Okay. Dave, what did you think about their concept of money? Like, I think that's one of the funniest spots. Like when he's like, okay, he's like passing out like $100. So don't splurge. This is all we've got. Like
to go back to what Dayton was talking about when he sold the glasses to the antique dealer, when he says, "I'll give you $100," and he goes, "Is that a lot?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what makes that scene the funniest part for me for that scene is when Spock corrects him. He's like, "Wasn't that a birthday present from?" And he's like, "Yes, and it will be a gift."
I know. He goes, and that's the beauty of it.
And that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Yep.
If you ever watch that scene again, after he hands out the money to everybody, McCoy goes back in for a little bit more.
Love it. Scott, let's talk for a second about Dr. Jillian Taylor. Is she okay? Hold on.
That was harsh.
Wow.
Sorry.
Maybe Brad wants to talk about this too. But
no, you ask Scott. I will.
No, I just okay. So
I have a counter though.
She says, "Hey, do you like it?" Like they're gonna go on dinner, even though she just pretty much kicked them out of the aquarium or wherever the hell they were. She's like, "You like Italian?" She takes them to like a pizza place. Do you trust me? Well, I don't know you, but Scott. She orders a large mushroom and onion pizza. This qualifies her as a bad date. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Who does that? And then I think it's Michelob. Like she chooses Michelob for the beer. Even Kirk, like he takes a sip of it. You can tell he doesn't like it either. It's like
no,
he's used to.
Well, they didn't have anything cheaper.
Ale.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a date that starts out by her picking up the seemingly homeless weird guys in puffy pirate shirts walking around the city, one in a bathrobe, after having them tossed out of the Whale Institute where she, manages whales, and decides to drop off the one guy in a park and take the other guy to one of her favorite restaurants.
Well, not only that, but how much is a whale manager making? Because she's a doctor, but she's driving a beat up Chevy pickup truck.
Well, she's blowing all her budget on pizza and Michelob, clearly. I have different thoughts on her character and the actress. Because the actress, Catherine Hicks, is always going to be the mom from Child's Play for me, which...
Oh, that is her. Yeah.
And also Seventh Heaven. She's also mom of Seventh Heaven.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
But the way that sometimes she'll... there's one scene where she's driving along, she's asking some questions and she's looking straight forward, and then she kind of whips her head to the side real quick with a raised eyebrow. And it's just like, that's such forced drama. Like, stop.
She overacts this movie so much. I think she way overdid it with the passion for the whales, and it's like she just comes off as annoying and kind of a nerd. It's like, well, yeah, you spend all your time with whales, and she's got that terrible truck, and she's got a "I love whales" sticker. I'm like, come on, we're pushing this a little too far. But yeah, her love for the whales is a little too over the top, I thought.
Catherine Hicks versus Dee Wallace, as 80s moms go. Who's winning that fight?
Dee Wallace.
Dee Wallace. Are you kidding?
I was just about to beam one of you off the episode for saying Catherine Hicks. I was just waiting. But no, we answered that question correctly. Oh man.
Why does when Kirk finds out about the whales at the museum, why does he say Gracie's name so weird? He's like, George and Gracie. Why is he very snooty with Gracie?
I didn't pick up on that.
Because it's William Shatner. He says all kinds of things weird. Where you been?
Yeah.
He practiced
that one in
front of a
theater is
mirror.
just kind of like, well, you didn't see that, Spock, George and Gracie.
Dayton, this movie, so Wrath of Khan, we get the famous Shatner screaming of Khan. And then Search for Spock, we get the famous Shatner, "You killed my son, you Klingon bastard." Did the Voyage Home miss something by not giving him a chance to ham it up with one piece of dialogue?
No, not even a little bit.
No.
I honestly, okay, I could totally start a fight with this comment, but I'm not going to.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
No, I hear your points about Catherine Hicks. I actually liked her in this part because I've known people that have been that. I have lots of friends that work in with animal shelters, and they are that passionate about those animals. So somebody who's literally watched in her lifetime, whales being destroyed by stupid human beings, I can totally see her passion for it. So I'm going to give her a pass, because there's people that are passionate about stupider things, and then we let them get away with it. So I'm going to give her a pass. But the fact is, I like this movie so much because it's completely different than all the other Star Trek movies. There is no villain. There's no photons. There's no, shooting people in ridiculous fight scenes or anything. Yes, Wrath of Khan is an awesome, awesome movie. This one, I would rather watch this one again, like right now, than watch Wrath of Khan again, because this one is so much fun and entertaining, and I feel good when this movie's over. When the Wrath of Khan is over, I'm like, Spock is dead. This is so freaking depressing, and it's just, and then, so I just think this one was a lot. It was brave of them to do something completely different. It was appropriate then with an environmental message, and it's still appropriate now. It's still, we're still not making the efforts we should, and it's relevant then. It's relevant now. I think it makes it even more timeless than the other movies, because what they're trying to say then still makes sense now. So that's my beef. You can yell at me all you want now. Go ahead.
No, to feed on what Dayton is saying. So 13-year-old me, when I went to see this in the theater, I had these high expectations from Wrath of Khan, from the Search for Spock, that I was going to get this big epic space battle. I was going to get all these fights. So 13-year-old me, when I saw it, was a little disappointed in the film. But going back and seeing it when I matured, it is a fantastic film. Absolutely. I agree with you, Dayton.
Woo!
Well, you noticed too, you were talking about the message that it had. Now, I don't know if this was done intentionally, but right before they catch Spock in the, swimming with the whales, they're showing Catherine Hicks talking, and there's a video monitor showing she's talking about the hunters killing the whales. And then she turns and just starts talking to them, and they're showing whales being just slaughtered. And it's just like, I don't know what she says during that. And so every time I watch it, I never know what she's saying because my eyes are just stuck to that. So I think he kind of, intentionally threw that in, be like, well, I'm going to, even though it doesn't really, just because you are just sitting there going, oh my God, they're just ripping them apart.
Yeah.
Right.
Dave. Brad makes a good point. So yeah, she's a doctor, but she's kind of like a tour guide for this place. You take your 10-year-old son or your daughter to this place. Are you expecting them to watch whale murder and just being ripped open like she shows? Are you wanting your money back at this point, Dave?
Probably, yeah. I'm out of here.
Little extreme, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I disagree. I disagree completely. I'm sorry. When our daughter was little, we took her to places like that. We told her the truth. You can't, if you shelter them from it too long, then they become ignorant to what's really going on. They need to know. They can see this is what the mistakes we've made. Now we need to get a little smarter. And this is why we do it. And then you show them the whales. You see the life that's actually out there. So I don't want my money back. In fact, I'm going to praise them for being real.
What cracks me up is on paper, this movie should not work.
Yes.
No.
As a pitch, this movie should not work. We're doing another Star Trek film. All right. What's it about? It's going to be about travel and humpbackers. This should not work.
Right.
And like you said, you commonly say, well, we were doing Star Trek for the Voyage Home. And then what are people going to say? Which one is that one? Is that the whale one? Yeah, that's the whale one.
Yeah.
Whether you like this movie or not, it's undeniable. Like, it's about saving the whales. I can't tell you what the Final Frontier is about. And
Search for God.
I can tell you what the last
that's right.
10 minutes are.
I thought that was the Undiscovered Country.
No.
What's
Final
that
Frontier is the Search for God. Undiscovered Country is the big court case with the Klingons and
right. It's Kirk on trial.
Yeah, Kirk's on trial, which was supposed to be the Voyage Home part of it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
The
They moved it
Klingon-
to Undiscovered Country.
Because as that Klingon leader leaves, he says, we will not rest while Kirk is alive.
Yep.
And they basically frame him in the Undiscovered Country. So in a way,
Right.
6 kind of skips over 5 and kind of becomes a little bit a part of that other.
Yeah.
And you have characters that cross over, like Admiral Cartwright, I think. Like a lot of the characters that come back in Undiscovered Country are seen here the first time. So it's almost like a setup that they interrupt with the mission for God.
Yeah.
So the Voyage Home kind of ties into the Undiscovered Country then.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so speaking of things that shouldn't work, any of the side missions, none of those should work. Like Scotty somehow taking a Mac Plus and by pounding away at keys on the keyboard, comes up with animations.
Let's
clack,
point
clack,
out-
clackety, clack, clack, clack.
Let's
clack,
point out that he's pounding these keys like an orangutan that is like they're testing. Yeah, like what is it? It's like a 86 Mac, and he pulls up quantum physics and all kinds of other nonsense.
Yeah, by clacking on a keyboard for probably about 40 seconds. And I know he's an engineering genius, but I don't think a Mac's going to be able to do that with keys. Like with him typing like artichoke and what the hell ever he's typing on there.
Computer? Hello, computer.
Now, I was going to say, maybe if you had like a huge library of floppy disks that you would have to keep taking in and out.
See? He's doing that with the other hand like crazy and talking into the mouse. And the whole hospital siege should not have worked. Like, Dayton, when you were talking about, like,
but it's a fun moment.
Well, it is, but it shouldn't have worked. And I think, Dayton, you said that, like, there's no violence in there, which is absolutely true. And I think the only time a phaser is ever actually fired is when Kirk, welds the doorknob shut or whatever. Yeah. But the intricate plot is you lay on a gurney, we're going to wheel you up to the surgery room, the operating room that has a finite space where there's 2 officers outside. We're going to pull you up. And I guess these cops were in Police Academy 3. They yell at them and say, no, we have to take this other patient that has nothing to do with what's going on in there into that room. And they're like, well, I mean, he said it pretty forcefully, so I guess we'll stand out of the way. They go into the room. There's apparently the scuffle and the yelling and all this stuff. I guess the cops never look into the room. They make enough noise to put the entire medical staff into like this side closet, burn the doorknob, and then come wheeling out, and then the officers go in.
Well, hey,
they don't chase them; they go in there first.
Okay, so listen, I'm on Dayton's side. This was a fun moment in the movie And Scott, I find your shameless plug of Police Academy 3 most illogical.
But it shouldn't have worked. The way they did it should not have worked.
As many laughs as this film has in it, none of them are forced. They're all pretty simple. I mean, I always find myself cracking up as just Kirk's reaction to looking around when he notices Spock is not with him, and he ends up eventually in the tank. But he just all of a sudden, it's like, where the hell is Spock? And then when he actually sees him, he's so embarrassed and like doesn't know what to do. It's like, these are genuinely, funny moments.
Yeah,
I think a lot of there's so many good lines in the movie too that are just funny. Like right after they get into San Francisco, Bones is like, it's a wonder these people ever got out of the 20th century, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's exactly right. Is it, look around by 23rd century eyes, and Kirk says, was it, this is an extremely primitive and paranoid culture? And I'm like, yep, that's true too.
That's true. Doesn't Bones also say when he finds out what they're doing in the hospital procedures, like that old lady, she's like, I'm here for dialysis, and he's like, what is this? Dark Ages?
The Dark Ages, yeah, right.
And he takes out like a prescription bottle from his little future doctor bag, gives her one pill, and she grows a new kidney.
Yeah, I know. It's a miracle. Yeah, I don't know. I had fun with it. But speaking of fun, let's hit Warp Speed Factor 4, 86 breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and start this. Look, I think it's unanimous. We all know the best movie in this franchise is Wrath of Khan. So that being said, Dayton looks like he's
and also Kramer believes that Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock, where you get your Katra.
As Dayton grits his teeth, my question was going to be, is the Voyage Home, taking Wrath of Khan out of the picture, is the Voyage Home the best of this franchise?
Yes.
No, I'm going with Undiscovered Country.
Really?
I agree with Dave 100%. Undiscovered Country was my first Star Trek movie in the theater, and it remains one of my favorites.
Yep.
Brad, what about you? Where are you at?
Still Wrath of Khan for me.
No. Hold on. Wrath of Khan's off the table. Oh. Is the Voyage Home the best Star Trek film after Wrath of Khan?
What I feel is, man, that is a tough question. That is a tough question. I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
Okay, so Scotty and Dave are with Undiscovered Country. Brad and I are with the Voyage Home. Dayton, through gritted teeth, what is your take on this question?
I actually, like I said before, I think this one, as awesome as Wrath of Khan is, I think this one was a better movie because of the chances they took with this and the fact that everybody does remember it. Oh, it's the whale one. That's, my wife saw it when she was very young, and I told her what I was watching. She goes, "Oh, that's the one with the whales, right?" I'm like, "Yep," because she remembers. She doesn't remember the other ones. She remembers this one. The only one of the Star Trek movies was nominated for 4 Oscars. Didn't win any, of course, but it was nominated for 4 Oscars. In fact, I thought it was strange that none of the Star Trek movies won one until the 2009 reboot, one for hair and makeup. Go figure. But it's just, there's so much. Like I said before, they just took so many chances with it, and it shouldn't work. Like Brent said, it shouldn't work on paper. The humor is there. The message is still relevant like it was then. And, as awesome as Wrath of Khan is, this one, I think, for me, just has an edge. That's all.
Well, as Spock would say, Dayton makes a hell of an argument. So, yeah, all right, I'm with it. Dave, assuming the Kelvin timeline is done, because it's been a while now. Prequel, sequel, remake. Where's Paramount gonna go with this if they're talking to you? Do we start it over again?
No, we don't start it over again. I feel like, and I think they're trying to touch base on this now with the shows that they've got on the Paramount Network now. They're going back and doing the Christopher Pike stuff, which I think that's fantastic. I would do other stories that have nothing to do with Kirk, nothing to do with Spock. Give us another part of the galaxy, a new crew. Let's go from there.
Dayton, do you agree?
Yeah, because I thought it's like, as much as I love the show and watch the movies, I always felt bad for the rest of the Federation because it seems like they're the redheaded stepchild, and like Enterprise is like just the best of everybody. They Spock figures out, oh, it's whale song, and it just seems like they're always the ones saving everybody else. So I'm totally with them. I'd rather see a completely different group of crew.
Yep.
All right. Nintendo Face Off, Scott.
Oh, wait, though. I'd like to counter on what they should do with the Star Trek universe.
Oh, okay, Brad. Go.
As you
Mr.
guys
Mr.
said,
Kozo, you have the floor.
If you think that I agree with taking to a new different crew or something like that, the hell I don't. I have the most recent thing that I saw was that Noah Hawley, who creator of the Fargo series and Legion, for I think it's FX or something like that, the X-Men origin story, that he's rumored to be taking over the Star Trek films from using the Chris Pine cast from that. And they have said, they go, if you look at it, they did the death of Kirk, like mirrored like for Spock, and the Beyond, they kind of went into the nebula of like Beyond and stuff. Now they go, they should do a fourth film very similar to the Voyage Home.
So you want to see a Star Trek 4 with the Kelvin timeline, kind of going home.
Maybe going home and doing something somewhat similar, but I'm a sucker for time travel. I love time travel movies. So anytime that's like in something, I think a good time travel thing with that, Kelvin timeline crew would be interesting if they stick with us.
Yeah, but okay, so are you recasting Chekhov, or are you just writing him out?
I think you do have to recast him.
I don't know.
He was great, but unfortunately, it's not. The things have to go on. You can't cancel Star Trek because one cast member, was gone. Can't do it.
I still don't like it.
Well, I'm just telling you what I read, what they're doing now, and that guy's going to be involved in it.
All right. Well, Scott, Nintendo Face Off. Which character are you beaming down to your house to play the original Nintendo, and what game are you playing?
Well, I've been thinking about this, and I wouldn't play anything with Kirk because he would just Kobayashi Maru it and just find a way to win. He'd like reprogram the game or something. It's a toss up between playing Dr. Mario with Bones and just seeing how long it takes him to get an aneurysm from like worrying about the ills of Western medicine, or playing Skate or Die 2 with the punk on the bus.
Wow.
Until Spock pinches his neck. And Skate or Die 2 is the really annoying one that has that like skate or die, like sung theme song in the start of it.
Okay.
So I'd just be interested to see what it does.
How about you, Dave?
I would do any racing game. So pole position, any one of those. I would like to play that with Scotty because I want to hear him go, I'm giving her all she's got.
Oh, no. Dayton, you got one here for us?
I do, actually. I would want to invite Chekhov over to play, and we're going to play Gradius, a nice side-scrolling shooter.
Deep.
Nice.
Gradius. That's a classic.
Nice.
Mr. Kozo, what's your call here?
Tetris with Spock.
He will destroy you.
Yes.
You would. Yeah, I have no hope of winning that.
Yeah.
Only because I would be out and it'd be like, how far can you keep this going?
Right.
Can you beat this game? Like, can he make the game explode?
Yeah, I think Spock is going to make Tetris go tilt like a pinball machine because when we catch up with him on Vulcan, isn't he taking three tests at the same time?
Yeah, so when he's retraining his brain, I was like, he'd be amazing at Tetris.
Good call. Yeah.
Brad, if you want to beat him on that, just pause it at one point and ask him, how do you feel? 3 times, and then unpause it, and he'll just like poof.
Well, it seems like we're all going with different members of the crew. For me, here's my take on it. I appreciate the movie takes place in San Francisco. Sulu has that moment where he's like, I was born here.
Right.
So I'm going to play RBI baseball with Sulu. And the reason I'm choosing that is because if you guys don't remember, RBI baseball is still, this is back when Nintendo didn't have the rights to Major League Baseball. But this is the first one that had the Major League Baseball Players Association sign off on it. So they couldn't use the teams' names or their mascots, but they could use the player names. So I'm going to let Sulu, and there was only 8 teams that were selected for it. San Francisco is one of them. So I'm going to let Sulu play. He can be San Francisco so he can get some Will Clark action. I'm going to play him with my Boston Red Sox because my favorite player growing up, my first favorite player was Wade Boggs. So I'm going to have a San Francisco Boston matchup with Sulu. That's what I'm doing.
Good choice.
Right. I have one question for the group before we wrap this up.
Absolutely.
Did anybody else at the end, when the ship appears in front of the whaling ship, did anybody else really want them to sink that friggin' thing? Because I was so hoping they would just blast it.
I did too.
I wanted that to happen, but
okay.
But
when you mentioned all, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Scotty. What do you got?
No accent. When you were talking about like there's not a shot fired and all this other kind of stuff, I thought that they fired a shot at the boat, but they didn't. They just kind of hover menacingly in front of it and have it like turn the wheel 90 times.
Yeah, I remember that was a big cheer moment at the theater when that happened. That got the crowd going.
Yeah,
I was a little sad that they didn't at least put one right over the bow and watch them. But either way, I was kind of hoping that's more. But it's okay. I guess it was nicer to not mess with them. But
hey, it might go against
their deserved it. But whatever.
Yeah, it might go against their whole message about peace and all that.
Now for you guys, do you think Scotty giving him that theory for that thin glass that he makes up will alter the future, even though he says, how do we know he's not the one that invents it already?
Yeah, that was a really...
Could that have caused a problem? Because as he was doing that, I was like, this is going to be a problem. And he's like, how do we know he didn't invent it already?
Yeah, that was kind of reckless. That was kind of reckless on...
you kind of have to let that one go. And I'm like, seriously, did any other ships or radars pick up the giant Klingon thing when it came out of cloaking?
Well, well, no. And you know what? This is 86. So even if they would have picked up on them, we would have cut to a scene of a young Bill Paxton going, "We lost him, sir," because that's all he did before he made his big break in Aliens. I'm thinking Bill Paxton Commando probably had the Klingon warbird on his scope, and then they cloaked out again, and he was just like, "Oh, sir, they're gone." So,
well, let's not forget too, the one golden rule of Star Trek is when you're going back in time or you're going to a new planet that doesn't have technology, that you make sure that you keep your technology away from falling into their hands.
Yeah.
Don't forget Chekhov threw his phaser.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work anyway.
What though? Those guys, they seemed like they thought he was a nut job. I can see those guys just throwing that overboard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they though, or is Chekhov creating like a T2 situation where he's going to create Skynet because he left some weapon behind? Yeah, you're right. Like, this is a reckless crew. I mean, I get it. They're on. Maybe they just are like, screw it. We're just gonna go for it because they're making all kinds of reckless decisions. You got Chekhov's leaving behind weaponry, and Scotty's giving away big information on tech, and then Kirk's trying to hook up with the whale specialist.
Boring woman.
It wouldn't be Kirk if you didn't try to hook up with somebody.
That's
on.
true.
Yeah,
that
true.
is true.
But
I know, but we could. Now, tell me if this wouldn't have worked better. The original choice for her after they decided it was going to be a female.
Okay.
Susan Sarandon.
Wait, she was up for it?
They had talked about her being that character once it was written.
I think she's too big at that point, and I think
you think so at 86
and 86. Yeah, I think she's Susan Sarandon.
I don't know.
No, that's still pretty early with her.
I think she would have been fine in that role.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Yeah, she would have.
Well, look. If you're gonna get rid of Catherine Hicks, I'm calling Dee Wallace.
I mean, she has experience with aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go back earlier what you were mentioning there. I mean, let's think about this. This crew has been through the Wrath of Khan, the
Yeah.
Search of Spock. Now they're on the way. They're not even home yet. They don't even give a shit anymore. I wouldn't give a shit anymore. Let's be honest.
They've been in the same clothes since the beginning of the third film, and then sat at Vulcan for another 3 months. And that's what I would have used the $100 for. Is like, let's get out of these clothes we've been in for in months.
And when they get back to the future, they find out that they've changed the way that the Federation forms. Everybody is wearing Kirk's puffy pink pirate shirts.
Yeah,
because they cobbled together the technology that Chekhov left behind, the magic kidney pill that Bones gave that lady. And taking Catherine Hicks out of the picture and into the future just allowed that and the transparent aluminum to make a new Federation.
Well, it pretty much, closes the book on my theory that she's a boring woman. She's like, I can go to the 23rd century. I got nobody here. I spend my time talking to whales. I think these are my only friends.
I don't want this to spiral into a pick on Catherine Hicks thing, but as I think about it,
probably the sweetest woman in the world.
So here's something that now is all of a sudden bothering me. It's not Kirk's fault that she's in the future. She jumps on him. So she's like a stowaway, right? And then, she's in the Federation. She's got this new job. Ripley went to sleep for like 57 years. And the best job she could get was working on like a warehouse deck or
Loader.
something.
She was running a loader.
She was running a loader or something like that.
Yeah, so.
Real menial job. This woman is 300 years behind technology. And they've got her as a science officer or some shit. And like, she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go learn because I've got 300 years of stuff to figure out.
The difference is, one's a scientist and the one literally blew up the ship she was on. So, you got to ask the company. I'm just saying, there's a little bit of a difference there.
Well, with the Starfleet, come on.
Yeah.
Right? That's not fair.
I don't know.
So she jumps on Kirk to stow away onto the ship, and they had plenty of time to drop her back off. But she rationalizes you need somebody who knows something about caring for these whales in the future. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But then she says, yeah, so I'm being put on this starship. I'm like, well, we brought you here for the whales.
Yeah.
So you're just going to go like take off and like fly to other planets? We kind of need you here because if the floating sausage basketball machine comes back, they're going to evaporate the planet unless you get these whales not only healthy, but making little whales.
Yeah that completely made no sense. I mean, because they covered their bases in a lot of that stuff, like saying like, oh well, it would be good to have that person on there. Yeah, then they send her off to a ship.
And
no sense with it.
And she shoots Kirk down. Like,
oh yeah,
I get it.
Hilarious.
I get it if like you're like, hey, I'm on Earth and I'm not about to have a hookup, and you're gonna fly off to the 23rd century. She comes with him and he still gets shot down. Like, I don't know. Like,
and then he goes off and does Star Trek 5.
Yeah,
I mean that's the real punishment
for all of us.
For all of us.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, how about the Queen of Zamunda showing up as the captain of the Saratoga?
That's who that was.
Yes,
that's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was sitting there like, I know her, but I don't know how.
And uncredited. She's uncredited.
It's that voice. It's that voice.
Yeah. Why wouldn't she get credited? That's not fair.
Maybe she didn't want. I don't know, but she's not credited and she's not in the credits.
And the guitarist from the Go-Go's.
Yes, Jane Weedland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like a tiny little screen off to the side, and she has this like, I'm reading these lines. We're in a lot of trouble. Things are going wrong. It's kind of like, that's the lady from the Go-Go's. She looks so bored and sleepy.
Well, after this movie, everyone's like, well, Eddie Murphy passed. He's a fool. I'm jumping no matter what the heck we do, All right, guys, listen, this has been stimulating and most logical. I want to thank you all for joining us on this one. For those of you listening, if you are feeling nostalgic and you want to check out Star Trek the Voyage Home, or you want to see it for the first time, it is streaming free on the Pluto TV app. And then I also believe if you've got the Paramount Plus or Amazon Prime, you can watch it on either one of those as well. So that'll do it for us. Any closing words from this crew?
Who's going to do it? Who's going to say it?
Nope.
Nope.
I'll do it.
Brad,
Right?
Close us
No, that
out.
one. Live long and prosper.
Well done. We'll see you guys next time.
Well,
Thanks a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just where in the future the things we've done and said. Let's just push the button, we'd be better off dead. 'Cause I hate you, and I berate you, and I can't wait to get to you.
I thought all of you would be jumping at the bit to be the one to say that. And everyone's like,
I was gonna give someone else a
No,
chance to do it.
I didn't,
I
want
didn't
to
know
do
what you were setting up for. I was like, oh,
I
was
knew
like-
it was coming.
I'm looking at Scott's like, I don't know what's about to happen. And Dayton and
He
Dave,
said sign off.
Dayton and Dave are
"Oh,
like-
we're all gonna say live long and prosper.
Dayton and Dave are like, no, we're real fans. We're above that bullshit.
Ashamed of all the fathers we dumped on our